Good morning, gentlemen. Today, my subject is Pakistan. Pakistan, as you know, is an important country in the subcontinent, but in my opinion, it is the land of hates, where death stalks the land. That's a fact. Recently, there was a statement by Bilawal Bhutto, the son of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who is the present foreign minister of Pakistan, and he stated that Osama bin Laden is dead, but the butcher of Gujarat is alive. He didn't mention any name, but obviously he was referring to Narendra Modi, who was the chief minister of Gujarat at the time when the so-called riots took place and a few Muslims were killed. Hindus were also killed. But Zulfikar Ali Bhutto is a name which we must remember, who is the father of this man, Bilawal Bhutto. I wonder if Bilawal really remembers that the Pakistan army had hanged Zulfikar Ali Bhutto like a common criminal in Rawalpindi jail for a murder which he had never committed. Bhutto had a lot of other faults, but for the crime for which he was hanged, he was not guilty. It was a partial trial in which it had already been decided that Bhutto will be hanged, and he was hanged. Ramsey Clark, the Attorney General, ex-Attorney General of the United States, had attended the trial, and he said it's a partial trial. The witnesses were changing their statements. The rules of evidence were not followed, and the trial was a kangaroo court. Why I bring out this point is to show that Bilawal Bhutto, by talking such nonsense, is ignoring that Pakistan itself is in the throes of death. It is the land of hates ruled by Pluto, the king of the underworld. He'll have a difficult time denying this. Let's look at what has happened to the Pakistan leadership right from 1950. We had the Liaquat Ali Khan, a wonderful leader, a man who led Pakistan as the Prime Minister after Jinnah died. He was shot dead in a public park, in a public meeting in Rawalpindi. That's what happened to him. There was an inquiry, nobody knows what happened, and the matter has been hushed up. Forget about it. That is the beginning. And that was the beginning of the road to AIDS. Then came a series of generals who took power. One was Iskandar Mirza, Ayub Khan and Yahya Khan. All of them very famous persons. Iskandar Mirza was woken up early in the morning by Brigadier Yahya Khan, who later became the President of Pakistan as General Yahya Khan, and a pistol was put to his head and said, "Look, friend, you better go. We're sparing your life." He was put on a plane to London, never to come back. And when he died, his relatives wanted his body to be buried in Pakistan. Ayub Khan, who was the president at that time, refused. And this man was buried in Tehran, courtesy the Shah of Iran, Raza Pahlavi. That is what Pakistan is. Ayub himself went, and then came Yahya Khan, who led Pakistan in a war in case India got defeated, and the country broke into two, and Yahya Khan then spent the next 7 years of his life under house arrest, as the man who replaced him was Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who had been instrumental in the breakup of the country. I will discuss that later at some other stage of the contribution of Bhutto to the breakup of Pakistan, but at that time Bhutto put Yahya Khan under house arrest, and he was only released once Bhutto had been ousted as the Pakistan president. And he had been hanged by the man whom he had selected as the army chief. That showed that Bhutto had a very poor, "Sir, you made me army chief." He said, "Yes, thank you, you made me army chief, but I'm going to put you in jail." He had a military coup, carried out a partial trial, which I've already mentioned. He was hanged 4 o'clock in the morning, body taken by C-130 to his hometown in Larkana and buried there. and his wife and children were told only after the deed had been done. Bilawal at that time was not born. He was the daughter of Benazir Bhutto, the eldest daughter of Zulfikar. Then came General Ziaul Haq. I mean, the less said about him, the better. He's more popular as the Mullah General. And he was a Puritan. He introduced Islamic reforms in Pakistan. You call them reforms, but it was actually a retrograde step, because he just wanted to control Pakistan with the help of the clergy. That's all. He had no political base of his own. But such men don't last, and they didn't, because he was blown up in a bomb blast in '89, and he, including 6 other generals and the chief of the American mission, the American ambassador, he also accompanied him to the land of AIDS. He was all over bother shouting at that time. Once Zia was out of the way, the road was open for 2 civilian candidates to try and become Prime Minister. That was Benazir Bhutto and the other was Nawaz Sharif. Bhutto was inconsequential Prime Minister, dominated by her husband, who came to be known as Mr. 10%. And he is the father of Bilawal Bhutto, as Benazir is his mother. And unfortunately, they were ousted by the president, dismissed. And the man who became Prime Minister then was Nawaz Sharif. And this man also had a tough time. And he also showed he was a poor judge of men, and he followed Bhutto. Out of a list of generals who were promoted as army chief, he chose the man who was 5th or 6th in the seniority list, that is General Musharraf, and appointed him as Prime and Chief of the Army. And Musharraf has other ideas. He didn't want to thank him for the elevation as the army chief. He carried out a military coup, and in the coup he ousted Nawaz Sharif. And I have reports he wanted him to be hanged, including the other general, like they had done to Bhutto. But that time things were different, and this time they're different. Saudi Arabia intervened. They were holding the purse strings of Pakistan. They said, look, don't do it. So what? They had a compromise, and Nawaz Sharif was given 10 years exile in Saudi Arabia. He returned after 10 years. In the meanwhile, Musharraf was ruling the roost. I would say ruling the roost, but only for some time. He was running into big problems. He was a man, again, like Zia, without any political base. He was ruling more by his decrees and by his actions and antics, opposing India, doing this, that. Ultimately, what happened had to happen, and he faced a vote of no confidence to be impeached, and he thought it better to resign and go away. But before that, he was instrumental in withdrawing the security given to Benazir Bhutto, who the Americans were keen to make the Prime Minister of Pakistan. In fact, the Americans were working out a deal where Musharraf would continue as president, and Benazir Bhutto would be his Prime Minister. And he didn't want it. So when she made a request for Blackwater security guards, Musharraf said, no, I'll give you only the Pakistan police. And the Pakistan police are known to be totally inefficient force, and there was no proper security provided to her, and she was blown to smithereens in a terrorist attack at the very spot where Liaquat Ali Khan had been assassinated. What a coincidence. Now we come down to Nawaz Sharif, because Musharraf had to run away. He went away to England, then came back, and then by then Nawaz Sharif had come back to power, and Nawaz Sharif wanted to settle scores with him, so he got him arrested on a number of charges, including treason. He was tried and put in under house arrest. But the army, which had been spotting for a long time, went into the act. They put pressure on Nawaz Sharif, and Musharraf was allowed to go to Dubai, and he's hiding in Dubai. He's hiding like a common criminal there. He didn't come back because there was one judgment which was passed against him by the Punjab, by a bench of the Punjab High Court Special Tribunal, and that judgment makes you die laughing on a bed of nails. One of the judges had said that Musharraf to be sentenced to death, and he should be hanged publicly in Freedom Square in Islamabad, and his body hung there for the people to see what happens to a man who betrays Pakistan. All this was very bad publicity for the Pakistan army, and they got out of it. That later on, there was pressure from the Supreme Court, and they set aside the judgment. But all the same, his trial for Bhutto murder, he's an accused, is now pending. Everybody, of course, forgotten about it, including Bilawal Bhutto. So Bilawal Bhutto is making statements against Narendra Modi. Might as well think what's happening to his mother, and what happened to his mother, and what happened to his grandfather. I mean, he might be more concerned about that. And now the situation is that Nawaz Sharif thought he's a very powerful man, very big man. But then, I don't know whether it's true or not, but his name appeared in the Panama Papers. He was tried by something called the National Accountability Bureau, and they found him guilty and sentenced him to 10 years in jail. Now, this is how they deal with Pakistan. If the Pakistan Prime Minister had to resign, and he was tried, put in jail, he asked for bail finally because his health had become very bad, deteriorated, and his blood platelets count had come very low. He was allowed to go to London for treatment and come back. He's in exile there. He's not going to come back. When he comes back, he's going to go to jail. So his pratik, rather his younger brother, Shahbaz Sharif, remained here to fight on, but he's facing about 20 odd corruption charges as well. Imran Khan then was the darling of the army, and he became the Prime Minister. He was talking of Naya Pakistan. Naya Pakistan, what is Naya in Pakistan? Nothing other than the fact that the color of the god hates Pluto, and the underworld keeps changing. That's how the color changes. That's why it remains as hates. What happened then was, Imran Khan was first playing ball with the army chief, General Bajwa, but then he tried to show his eyes, but Bajwa showed him his teeth. And that result was, Imran Khan was voted out in the middle of the night by 2 votes, and he's in the wilderness. He's not in the wilderness, but in Pakistan doesn't mean going in the wilderness, it means oblivion. Now there have been charges framed against him. He's been banned from elections, from contesting elections, and corruption charges have been made against him that he sold some gifts which were given to the Tosh Khana and made a profit out of them. These are the gifts which are given by foreign dignitaries to the Pakistan Prime Minister. And then there was an assassination attempt on him. 2 bullets were fired into his legs, they hit his feet, but luckily for him he survived. And you can guess who it could be. I won't make a guess, but there are only 3 people who could have gained if Sharif had died. First is the Americans, the second is the army, and the third is the present dispensation which is ruling Pakistan now. That is Shahbaz Sharif. And Shahbaz Sharif is just the HMV, his master's voice, and his master's voice is sitting in London. And even when the new army chief was to be appointed, Nawaz Sharif was giving all the diktats from London, His brother used to go there and ask him. And now, the same thing came about again. What are they going to do now? Again, the army chief has to be appointed, and they have now appointed General Munir. Now, he's a hardline man, an Islamist. A man who knows the Quran by heart. It's a very good thing, but I hope he lives by what is written in the Quran, and not by the hadiths, which keep on saying, kill all kafirs or something like that, So that sort of thing is prevalent in Pakistan. Death stalks the land. They have the only country in the world which has a blasphemy law, where the people take the law into their own hands, butcher people to death, bat them publicly, and about 70 to 75 people under trials who were charged with blasphemy has been killed in the courts, and many people have been lynched in public. I'm not aware of any other country in the world, including any Muslim country, where such things continue. So when you add up all these things, and you see the economy which is now tanked, and that again thanks to the Pakistan army, which is so busy feathering its own nest, with the generals making money as much as they can, that, well, Pakistan is now nothing but the land of hates. I feel very sorry when I say this, because Pakistan should have been the land of the pure. Pak means, in Urdu, pure. But they're not the land of the pure. Murder, killings, assassinations, all forms of corruption, army ruling, sham democracy, and people like Bilawal Bhutto making such foolish statements, thinking that they'll get out of it and distract the attention of the people from the economic views to India, is not going to work out. They are facing big problems in Balochistan. Recently there has been a bomb explosion. Their reserves, oil reserves, were blown up in Gwadar, and the hotel where the Chinese used to stay in Gwadar was attacked. They're having a border clash with Afghans who don't recognize the Durand line, and Pakistan is facing an internal insurrection with the Pakistan Taliban saying that we will enforce the Sharia all over Pakistan. Gentlemen, I think I'll close. I've given you a picture of Pakistan. So if you want to go to Hades, this is a very nice place to go to, and that is Pakistan. Go there. Otherwise, you stay anywhere else in the world, things will be better. And gentlemen, do share this video with others, like it, and subscribe. I close now and wish you all the best. Jai Hind. God bless you all.